I think we are live. Or at least we should be. I'm going to give it a little second for some of the people to hop on in. See if we're really live. Because today's been an interesting day. Last 24 hours, a lot of news has been popping up that I want to share. I think there will be a separate video covering some of the more niche news. But generally, just everything I've been seeing here is making me realize we're living in some sort of simulation, man. I swear to God, this stuff is so stupid. What I see on a daily basis in this crypto news, man. Because I think a lot of you guys noticed it. Give me a second real quick. Yeah, we're good. I think a lot of you guys noticed it, but most of the news over the last couple of days has been just bad. German government dumping 250 Bitcoin, yada, yada, yada. But today, I ain't talking about no Germany. We ain't talking about nothing on that side of the ocean. We're talking about American soil. Because as I just said in the title, you know what just went down? Well, yeah. Apparently, it's like the little video says right here. First, German government, we noticed they've got $3 billion worth of Bitcoin that they're slowly starting to sell. Now, just in, let me quickly see which article it is at. I think it's not this one, not this one, not this one, not this one. Oh, this one, here we go. Now, the U.S. government transferred 4,000 Bitcoin to Coinbase, obviously also to go ahead and sell. At the same time, we've got Mt. Gox. Oh, we have some streaming issue. What I could do is switch it over to 5G. Maybe I should do that. How is the stream, guys? We good? Can anybody see me perfectly, or is it like happening? Then I'll just quickly, if you give me like 10 seconds, I will switch the internet around to my phone. Just give me 10 seconds. I'll switch it up. So it will stop loading for a second, but afterwards it'll be good. I'm not sure if this was a wise idea in hindsight. Did I just make the biggest mistake of my... No, I think we're good. Maybe I should not do that again. All right. Guys, if you're in the chat, just quickly put in which country you're watching from. We always do that to start the stream. Today, I know it's very early. Whenever I stream this early into the day, most people are like, you know, what the frick's that? But I kind of want to see which countries are checking this out today. And from here on forward, there should be no more lag because I just switched up the internet connection. So we should be good to go. We got Australia, Malaysia, UK, USA. Somebody from the US. Mostly, oh no, we got more people from the US coming in. Oh, there we go. Elbonia. Is that a place in some... Dilbert wiki. Albonia is an impoverished Eastern European country in Dilbert universe. All right. All right. Interesting. I didn't know that. All right. And I always just enjoy reading through this chat box here. If you didn't do it yet, guys, make sure you go ahead and press that like button if you're watching. And let's pop on over with all the news we got for today. So let me also grab a chart real quick. While we go over some of the stuff. If I can. Because somebody in the chat just said, hey, the price is dumping. But, no. Not completely true. Yesterday, I wanted to open up a video. I wanted to start some, but I didn't. You know the main reason why I didn't do that? Because I was looking at prices thinking, man, this doesn't really make too much sense. But I was guessing, and kind of in hindsight, I still think the same right now, that the majority of what was happening was people reacting to what you're seeing right here. The news that Mt. Gox, U.S. government, Germany, blah, 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 are all selling. Plus, the fact that if we're taking a look at Bitcoin ETF flows, right now, the last couple of days, they've been quite negative. All right, just specifically 2 days ago was quite good, and yesterday was also quite neutral. But before that, it was outflow after outflow after outflow for almost the entire month. There've only been basically one positive day up until just 2 days ago. And before that and around that, it has all been just outflow, outflow, outflow. The red obviously being outflows. BlackRock thus far has never had outflows, it seems, just sometimes not inflows. But for some reason, BlackRock ain't doing anything. Are they paused or something? Because in the past, I guess BlackRock offset this ever so slightly. But it seems that right now, even though they're not going to negative, they are standing at 0. And so if together with that, we do still have grayscale Bitcoin outflows, and now in this instance also some Fidelity and whatever outflows, it's why prices have come down ever so slightly, perhaps, because everybody's just perhaps preparing for something. Maybe these guys are also trying to go with the flow of government selling. It could definitely be. Perhaps it is all in anticipation of something bigger that we do not even know about. What I was saying, though, is that yesterday I didn't pop up a video because the prices went down, but it's all just such garbage. And so all I could cover is, oh, you know what? People are more fearful today. But again, the strategy that I explained to you guys yesterday is still the same. Whenever prices come down, I'm just buying the freaking dip. But the only problem is we've not gone up enough. I basically think we're up once we're back at 64,000 to really think of buying more dips. Like this dip right here, in my own personal perspective, is just a worse dip than you could have bought right there, right? This is like 3 days ago. So if you're buying the dip like this one, you're buying a few percent down, sure, but you're still buying significantly up from those prices there. Can I quickly check this out? No. There we go. You're still buying at roughly 5% higher, even though it is 2-3% lower from the top it just made before. It's still such a percentage higher that I kind of feel as if it is a waste or just something that's not wise, basically. Then again, there's still good money to be made on the leg upwards here again if we do get back to that previous top from just 2 days ago. So, you know, don't consider what I'm saying here to be the best. I'm just saying this is why I personally don't like buying these sort of very recent dips after such a big dip, because it just kind of makes you feel bad. Then again, with Ethereum, I guess you could have been in a slightly better spot because obviously it's been slightly more just upwards with Ethereum. It doesn't look as much downwards, even though percentage-wise it still might relatively be a similar sort of drawdown. Yes, 3.7%. I guess just because the price is up more from the bottom, not so much actually also. With Ethereum, it feels like it didn't really dip as much and is more just so natural. And I think it's also slightly because people have been saying that right now, it seems like Ethereum versus Bitcoin has started to take over. Indeed, looking at that chart, Ethereum has, since the last couple of weeks here, been way more profitable and way more interesting than Bitcoin. So a lot of people are switching over thinking that the Ethereum ETF, which the announcement is right here, is going to be changing everything. It's going to be that spot where the bull market switches over from being Ethereum heavy to being, from being Bitcoin heavy to being Ethereum heavy. Indeed, there's a good chance for it. And so I hope that you guys are all keeping it on your radars. The fact that Ethereum might be next up. So to get back on the story though, the US government, just know, they've got a ton of freaking Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. They do. Hey, quick question. How many of you guys think the bull market's still going on? And how many of you guys think it's over? I'm going to put up a little poll in the chat. Oh, got hiccups. Let me quickly put up a poll. Over bull market. There we go. RN means right now, by the way, for anybody that does not know. I put up a little poll in the chat. Anubis says there's only 44 million of Bitcoin. So the thing about 4,000 Bitcoin is it's not really a huge amount, especially if you compare it to some of the ETF outflows. 4,000 Bitcoin is nothing. All right. It's nice to have. Don't get me wrong. It's very nice to have, but it's nice to have. How much is 4,000 Bitcoin? Are you correct? 4,000 times 60,000. It's about 240 million. So that's, theoretically speaking, a pretty good chunk. But on the opposite side, it kind of is nothing. And the reason I'm saying that is because these guys have got so much Bitcoin still left that they want to get rid of. I'm kind of happy that they're doing that at lower prices and not at, it's still almost all-time highs, don't get me twisted, but they're getting rid of it. instead of just hoarding it all to just dump on us at higher prices. You'd prefer to have some of these bad actors that don't want to see your industry succeed, that they dump or get rid of it at lower prices, if that makes sense. You might say, oh, but you prefer to have them selling to volume. They probably have some bigger strategy for it. Coinbase probably knows exactly how to sell it the best way for the minimum price impact. Anyway, a crypto wallet known to be controlled by the let's do it like this. A crypto wallet known to be controlled by the U.S. government recently transferred around 3,900 Bitcoin worth $240 million to Coinbase, according to data from Arkham. The wallet currently holds around $13.3 billion worth of Bitcoin. The wallet's Bitcoin stash is tied to the seizure of Bitcoin from Silk Road, an infamous online marketplace on the dark web. Obviously, we all know it. Earlier in April, the government allegedly transferred 30,000 Bitcoin, about $2 billion, to Coinbase. That was in April. How have prices fared since April? Now, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, right? But when in April was that? What if that was like the 8th or the 12th of April or so, and ever since then it's just been downwards because it's been the government dumping on us? Then again, it's a couple $2 billion. If we take a look at Bitcoin's global volume, it shouldn't necessarily be that big a deal. Bitcoin's daily volume right now is 22 billion. 2 billion is a lot, but it's not that much. Let me try to find it. U.S. government Bitcoin April. April 2nd. No, that is when they. I'm seeing here 3,940 from just yesterday. 18 hours ago. When was the last time they sent this over? Let's see. The last government move was in late. Wait, let's just read the article here. The last movement by the government, which in late 2022 seized roughly 50,000 Bitcoin, so they still have a lot to sell, by the way, was $2 billion worth of Bitcoin on April 2nd. So it was April 2nd. In hindsight, where did they sell it at? They sold it at a local bottom. So maybe, just maybe, right? Since they sold it this day, it's either that they caused this candle to happen, they caused our prices to dump, or let's see it. No, maybe. I don't know. Because if they're sending it the second, I'm guessing it might have been like right around here, because it's U.S. time, right? So it probably was like this area where they sent it. Maybe whenever the government dumps, prices actually go up, huh? What if we notice that right now the government just sold again? So let's just say it right there. And then from that point forward, prices just start pumping like crazy again. That would be peculiar if the government is actually one of the most bullish signs in crypto history. Rajan says the U.S. government are against exchanges, but why they want to sell, it's fine. And when they want to sell, it's fine. That's actually one of the most interesting controversial points, right? Where the U.S. government is pretty much against Coinbase. Coinbase and them are having a lot of issues. But then when it comes to selling, oh, Coinbase is fine. Let's do that. That is kind of ironical, I must admit. Anubis says it's only 44. Oh, yeah, we already read that. Pancho says classical political move, create a problem to be the hero. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're watching this right now, make sure you go ahead and press that like button. I always want to get to at least 50 likes to make sure that everybody that's watching this just paying a little bit of attention and making sure that like button is pressed. You don't have to, but it just, why not? You've got nothing to lose is what I always say. It's those things. Anyway, so we cannot really draw a good line between what exactly happened back in April versus what's happening now until in a few days. Since we know that they sold just yesterday, we can say that if from this point forward prices start trending upwards really hard, there might be something to say that the U.S. government is finding like local bottoms to sell into to try crash prices down further, perhaps. Not exactly sure. But then I'm also thinking the government probably has some longer period of time. And this is my own thinking process, right? What if there's an announcement that goes out internally that they're going to sell right there, but then it takes like 2 weeks for them to actually dump or send the money out because there's a long legal process. And so at that point, the announcement, let's say, for example, in hindsight was made right there. It takes some days to go to the exchange. People know it. People start speculating on it because some insiders, they tell around whatever. And so right here, for example, or maybe let's say right here, the announcement was made. So prices start coming down. And then once the government on the date can actually sell, the price at a local bottom, and people start buying back in what they sold at right there to catch the profit. Just some speculation. But if this keeps happening, we might form a trend. Might be very profitable for next times, all right? Maybe, just maybe. It's nice to think about. Similarly, I guess with the German government, what if there's more to this story than we think? Because I'm guessing many people must know that they're selling that up front, right? They must know it a pretty juicy amount up front, you'd think. Interesting. And it's also quite a lot. It's a lot of seller pressure from a lot of different angles, guys. We got ourselves the German Gov, the US Gov, Mt. Gox, and the Bitcoin spot ETFs. But nonetheless, hopefully you guys are all excited for what's about to happen next. Because if Ethereum ETFs come on in, there's a pretty good probability that it's mostly just up from here, right? At least you think. Maybe that's everybody's thinking, though. What if everybody is thinking that the Ethereum ETFs are going to be bullish for us, where it actually turns out to be negative because we're all expecting the same thing? And I'll talk about this slightly more, but U.S. regulators could approve spot Ether ETFs for launch by July 4th, says sources. I was actually going to make a video about this yesterday because I was pretty excited about it. But Eric says, hey, do you happen to have a link to an article or a screenshot? Because he couldn't find it. And I was like, ooh, let me quickly wait for some verifications because nothing really changed too much. Except for here. But this is later on. This is a lot afterwards. Reuters. Do you guys say Reuters or Reuters? I still don't know. Reuters. Reporting reaffirming our July 2nd prediction for spot Ether ETF launch. But we'll see. Here's the full article. I'll get you guys another small update on this probably later today or some with my thoughts on the Ether ETF and how I'm trading it, how we're going to make a ton of profit on this, hopefully. So stay tuned around for that. Stick around for that. Anyway, have you guys got any questions? Because I'm seeing a couple things. Mamo says, hey, yo, Dusty live stream. What's up, man? We got Panhandle, Florida in the chat. Sadly, no, you got to pump it up today. No, prices are not doing that good. We're not going to pump it up. Drill Monkey says, do you have coins like Ordi still? I do. Many of those coins are down like, what, 60% or so from their respective prices from a few months ago. I'm still holding many of them. And I'm thinking of also making another update on that later today about what I'm thinking are the best coins to hold for the next few months and when to start buying into them. The only problem is some people, I think a lot of you guys that are watching these streams, you know, but many other people, they don't understand this. When I'm making a video of top coins, there's always context in the sense that you need to buy them at the right time. You need to buy them when the markets, there's two strategies. One is, let me do it like this. One is you buy the dip because you're getting such a low average price that on upswings you're in profit again. But the problem might be that perhaps the general trend is still pretty much downwards. And so if you're not selling into that pump, it's risky again because now you just bought somewhere, but if the trend is mostly still downwards, you're going to get yourself some significant underwater pressure. So the second strategy is to just wait for when things have turned around. And yes, you're going to have to buy at significantly higher prices, but you have more certainty that things will continue on. So you might miss the first 2x, but you can still catch the next 10x, for example. And that's mostly my strategy. That means right now I am not buying too many altcoins, even though I've definitely bought some over the last couple of days, but I'm not buying too many. Matter of fact, I'm actually selling some. Why? Because we don't know how long this negative pressure will last. And what we do know is that most likely the next big thing in the short term is going to be Ethereum. And so I'm mostly just focusing on that. I'm not selling any Ethereum. And afterwards, as Ethereum starts going crazy, hopefully after all the ETF news, then altcoins in the lower ranks start to flourish. And then I'm also going to start layering more into those. But for right now, I am mostly just sticking to my bigger altcoins and selling some of the smaller ones. People might think that's stupid, but it's because the last couple of months, like 3-4 months, they've been doing bad. So I've just been selling them every single time I sit down and start looking through my altcoins. Many of them are down like 90% from, I'm going to say 80% from their respective high points a few months ago. Most of my AI coins are down 80%. FET is still a strong buy, somebody says. 𝗕𝗪𝗀𝗍𝗍 says. FET's got a lot of good news, so it does make sense, especially with the merger coming up. But I'll talk about it more in a video coming out later, about my AI coins, RWA coins, and my personal strategy. Because I think there's some good things that can be done here to make a ton of profit in the short term. Pancho says, stable coins bring confidence back into the retail markets. People still aren't buzzing yet. How are stable coins bringing that back in? That's an interesting question. I also saw some people comment that the dollar is going that amazing that you never want to have Bitcoin anymore. The dollar is strong. Ooh, okay. Over the past couple of months, the dollar has been doing really rather well. But I wouldn't call this like a wonder trend. Call me stupid, but it's good, but not that good. It's been pretty good for what? A little, like a year? It's up 7% or so in a year, so it is a lot. But if we compare it back to the 2022 situation, it's not that wild. I still can't comprehend that it went up this much, though, in like a year. 25%, the dollar index. That's also pretty maddening. But also, if we're just looking at the trend, nothing out of order has happened here. We have not even covered the tops of last year. So I can't say the dollar index is doing something out of the ordinary or extraordinary, I should just say. It is doing good, sure, but nothing too spectacular. Nothing too crazy. Tim Bates says, why is every YouTube influencer, is that what we call this now, ignoring the elephant in the room? Tether is about to collapse on July 1st. What have you got with Tether? A lot of people have been saying that Tether has some big issue. Is it because of Europe's bills or what is, let me see. Is it because of an investigation? Is there something really spectacular happening that day? Uphold has no, oh, you mean the, I think it's the European thing maybe? This one, let's see. Uphold has notified its European users that it will cease support for 6 stablecoins, Tether, DAI, whatever. This one? I don't know. I feel as if Tether is such a profitable company that regardless of what happens, they're not going to quickly let it die. Let me rephrase that. You might say, oh, Tether backing, oh, this, that, the Tether backing is quite proper. Otherwise, they would have definitely fallen over a long time ago. It's mostly just a matter of if everybody starts losing their faith in Tether, we might see a big shift in the sense that we might see a big drop in price for a while that could cause other crypto prices to fall because of panic, which could effectively just annoy your system with a lot of crashes, a lot of mass liquidations, and more fear, panic, and things. However, just like with USDC, it's very unlikely that it actually stays down and collapses. Well, Dusty is blind to the real world issues. I think RW means real world. How do you not know about Tether, buddy? You're supposed to be a crypto guy. You mean, why do I not know about Tether? How do you mean? Are you guys talking about Tether's backing? With Chinese notes or what? The corruption? Oh, my friend. I always love this. You think corruption is going to make us crash? Let's talk about that for a second. Don't you think if there's a lot of corruption ongoing there, that they are going to stay around? Let's hypothesize here. There's a chance that Tether actually falls because it's all a piece of garbage. I agree with you. I think Tether in a lot of ways could be doing some really shady stuff. But we've been saying that for many years, and they're actually bigger than ever before, more profitable than ever before, and everybody's trying to copy what they're doing, and it's working like a charm. From that perspective, I don't think it's very likely they're going to go down. Yes, they'll try to put sanctions on them, but I do believe they can hold their dollar value quite well, which is the most important part. If Tether falls, ladies and gentlemen, everything will fall. There's no saving crypto for at least a few months, in my opinion, if Tether does break, so I'm not even considering it too much. Perhaps there could be a really quick shift to USDC, but are you more happy with Circle and BlackRock backed? Isn't that the same corruption all over again? Some might say, oh, but Ripple stablecoin. They're all making stablecoins because it's profitable, not because they're good people. But all these regulations, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think it matters too much. like whatever Europe is doing, I don't think is going to affect the world prices of Bitcoin or whatever, because all of it is already anticipated in. I think most of those things are priced in. And like 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗧𝗧 says, corruption is king. I think the corruption is, quote unquote, better for us in some instances because it allows you to make some really juicy trades and makes you to sometimes understand the system better. I think if everything was the way it should be, all the systems would break because nothing is that way. What I mean is, if you really take a look at house prices, right? We all have an idea of how house prices there we go, are supposed to work and how inflation is supposed to work. But it's all a really stupid game if you really start breaking it down. Even the whole bank system as a concept, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, which is why some people get into crypto, sure, but it really is kind of stupid. But it's been corruption from the get-go, at least since we were born, I'd say for a couple generations. No, forever, man. I want to say there's been corruption since the old ages, right? There's always been, there'll always be. It's just about us learning how to play the game. But I'm not too afraid of Tether collapsing too much, mostly because everything would have such a massive crash that it's like thinking of the next doomsday. And if you really expect it to happen, just my thoughts, right? Maybe the best idea would be to always have a hedged short open, a pretty large one, for in case a mass exodus event happens. If you guys remember GCR, he made a $10 million bet with, what's his name again? The Luna guy, 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. And 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 accepted it. He wanted to up it to 20 mil. 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 said, So he shorted the market, 10 mil, maybe eventually 20 mil, I don't know. And the trade supposedly was worth $1 billion, 1.2 billion or something like that. Pretty good trade, right? What he did there is basically have full conviction, like the big short, and counter something. If you guys think as well that Tether is going to collapse within the next few months, open a massive short. Send me a little screenshot of you doing that. I would be very, very surprised to see people opening up and put all their money where their mouth is. Because it's hard to call out for the next big collapse of everything. Again, I'm not saying it can't happen. But I will say that calling out when that's going to happen within like a 6-month or whatever time span is quite hard. Because it could be that we're going on like nothing before for the next 4 years without any issues from Tether. My thoughts. If you guys disagree, please do let me know. I'm here to have a little more of a back and forward. I'm not trying to tell you as the truth because I don't know at the end of the day. Let's see here. There's a couple things that were said. Man with brains, nice name. We need some good FUD to move upward. Kind of do. Then again, the last couple of days has been pretty fearful, right? So I'm going to say we need some more hype, actually, to go upwards this time. Because it seems the FUD is taking us down, and the hype will get us up. Maybe not, though. The dollar is the fast horse. The glue factory, correct. Tether going down like some... all the corruption in the US. People, if Tether goes down, the whole market will suffer again. Stop the cap. It's true. Just that they are terrible. They are. I could argue that Tether is a pretty horrible company that's definitely making money on every left and right angle, and they don't care about you. All we know now is that whenever Tether prints, make sure you're glued to your freaking screen. Tether going down like my girlfriend. Is that good or bad? I don't know. Corruption is... 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, corruption is king. Simon says there's an infinite amount of info out there. No one can know it all. That is true. Man Ray says we squid FUD. Pancho says Circle and Ripple will take over. You mean as stablecoins go? Short says this is all a game and they play it out perfectly every time. Now they had a couple of mess ups. Tether actually. I'm not sure if you mean they as Tether or Tay as in the ones who are quote unquote corrupt, which again is almost anybody out there. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, right? But I would like to argue, again, because here's how unbiased I am, that even Ripple, don't shoot the messenger here, but I think that Ripple's also a piece of garbage company because they probably are doing some shady shit too. I don't want to be the guy who brings the news to you, but if you start looking at the proposition, even though I do believe XRP will do well, that's the side though, I think Ripple probably has some shady stuff. And there are probably also some sneaky things that they're doing which are either not allowed or, again, somebody would see as, what are you doing right there? Or why are you doing that? Or they might be acting on info that they shouldn't have, whatever, right? I'm just saying all these companies in this space, especially with the regulation being so loose still, doing some shady stuff. But even when the regulations are just proper, BlackRock is a pretty dark company. It's in the name, right? Pete says, in my opinion, nothing tangible to happen until the political landscape changes. Bye, Biden. Gone. Everyone holding their breath. And I had one thing open about that just now. Where is it? Let me quickly, give me like a second to go ahead and find it. Here we go. It was actually Gensler. This is an article. Gensler will cause Biden to lose the election, Ripple CEO says. I do wonder if that's really true, though. 𝗕𝗪𝗏𝗍 says, Dusty, are you bullish on Bitcoin mining stocks? No. It could do well, but it's not something I'm buying. But perhaps if you don't have access to normal Bitcoin, etc., and you're more interested in the stocks, it's theoretically speaking just going to flow with the Bitcoin price, just like how Coinbase stock kind of does. But no, it's not something I'm completely. It's because you're also adding a lot of other factors in now. No, the Bitcoin mining industry is such a different industry from what we're into, so it's not my thing. I know a prophet. She says next year America will be no more. Hey, should I sell my one? Let's go through. So you guys are saying 30th of June or 23rd or 30th of June. We're gonna get ourselves some MiCA regulations. You know how many articles I've seen of people saying that MiCA is gonna destroy everything? But before, I'm talking about like years back. People said, oh, whatever the regulations, we just need them. It doesn't matter if they're good or bad. We just need to set a framework in place. And we'll work on it from there. You might argue that for MiCA, where even though it's really garbage right now, it's a start and things will only get better from there. I don't believe that, personally. I do believe once they've already put a little leash around your balls, right? Just thinking about it out loud. They're only going to tighten it more and more instead of letting it loose. Because once they've got you in that scramp and they've got you, why would they let loose when they've already got you in this tight-ass position? They're just going to start scrambling more and more, scrambling more and more. That's what I'm thinking. But that was, over the last few years, the thought process I heard very often. Now we're starting to see some of the negative effects of what we were talking about before, where some things are coming out, some rules are coming up that are not so good, but they don't really affect me, nor do I think they will affect the market too much. But that's just my expectation for right now. I think most people will go with their day-to-day lives being fine with whatever regulation put in. Just like how you're fine with using a bank account and all the restrictions that come with it. You might say, oh, I think back in the time, right? If you were to tell somebody a couple hundred years ago all the rules that we have to live with right now, they tell you you're crazy. And we're working with them just fine every single day. So even here when we're talking about regulations and new rules and new things coming into place, I know there's always how do you say it? Abstinence? You're against it from the start. And everybody is, but ultimately most people just follow along and they don't notice, they don't care. Shirt Flavor says, what do you think about the ISO 2022 coins? I think I know. ISO 2022 coins, they're not hot this season. So you might want to hold them for like a longer-term idea, longer-term vision. But if I'm being realistic, they're not the most profitable coins this season. I've not bought them in how much? Like maybe a year or so. I've made my last video about why I'm buying them a long time ago. Because they're not hyped up. And you might say, oh, but only, true value things. No, only just, how can I rephrase it the best way? True valuable things might not see the right hype until it's too late. Sure, but it's a different investment thesis. The investment thesis I follow is either, like I just said, try to buy the dips of undervalued projects that are probably going to be hot next season, which in this case seems to be AI, RWA, Bitcoin ecosystem potentially, but mostly those two that I'm focusing on. That's my focus. And I know from personal experience, you don't need much more. If you only have one or two sectors, you only have yourself 10 coins, and you're starting out with $10,000, whatever money you're starting out with, you could turn it into a couple $1 million over a season. If you're starting out with $5 million, for example, you could turn it into, let's say, $60 million over a season. Why? Because many people are doing it left and right. It's not that rare, but you got to focus. You got to dial in. You don't need to know every single sector. You don't need to focus on everything. You don't need to have a part in everything. Somebody could fully miss the XRP trade and still be completely fine. Then again, somebody might only have XRP and become the richest person out of all. There's multiple ways to make it to freaking Rome, if you understand what I mean. And so ISO 22 coins, they're not really my focus right now. Perhaps if they get more into the light again, it could be nice. And I'm still holding XDC, XRP, all those coins, QNT, but they have been some of the worst ones in terms of performance. Shirt says, I know what I hold and what's coming. TikTok time is almost up. I don't think that's too much true either. And to explain my vision on that, again, I'm not saying you're wrong, by the way. My friend, I definitely agree with you in a lot of ways. So don't get it twisted, because I understand the vision, I think. And I'm not against what you're saying. Not at all. All I'm saying is there's different theses. And from your perspective, I think where you're coming from is it just makes sense for those. There's a necessity for those projects and coins to be out there. And so they should do well. They have a certain plan for it, and they've tried to put it down, but eventually it cannot be contained and caged. Is that kind of what you're saying? But then again, we have to admit, there's a lot of different ways to go about investing. There's a lot of different ways to definitely do good in this crypto market. And one might be to really focus on what's got underlying value, what they're all, the corrupt parties, are trying to push down. And the other might be, go with the freaking flow, go with the hype. And by the way, guys, if you're not done yet, make sure you go ahead and press that like button. You're definitely not going to lose anything by pressing it, so make sure you go ahead and do that. We've got about 160 people watching, only 61 likes pressed, even though we got more than 650 people that joined on in. Make sure you go ahead and press that like button. We can at least get it up to 100, because why not? And once more, like I always say about you guys in the chat, there's never any necessity to hate on somebody else when it comes to this crypto stuff, unless they're wrong, like some of you got. No, just kidding. Because at the end of the day, a lot of strategies are going to work, and it's more productive to just talk about what you want to do and just find people who agree with your thesis, or you tell them to explain their side. You look at it and think, oh, does this make sense to me? Yes or no, and then move on. Sitting there arguing about why somebody is wrong, unless they're interested in that, who's got time for that? Focus on whatever's going to get you up there, right? Don't think about how to drag somebody else down, unless you've got absolutely nothing to do. But even then, I recommend just focusing whatever's going to get you more dollars in your freaking bank. Or if you're not caring about dollars too much, what changes the world the most for the better, I guess. Or what changes for you the better. I don't know. And so even what Shirt's saying here in the chat, I don't think there's any hatred in what he's saying. Because I'm just scrolling through here. I see you guys having a little bit of an argument. I think all he's saying is these projects make a lot of sense. He knows what he's holding. He thinks his investments are wise, or at least quote-unquote undervalued, let's say. He thinks it's the next big trend, or at least they're going to get away from their undervalued status. I don't know how that's a hateful thing. Maybe I'm missing some of the chat, though. I don't think that's a bad thing to say, though. Ajax will do well. I know that... wait, as I lost my keys to a little over 1,000. Sad, bro. One of my friends also just got hacked. I think his Phantom wallet got hacked for $100,000 or something like that. And it made me realize, man, many people need a little guide on how to not lose money. However, I will say, even though I've been here day in, day out for so many years in a row, and some of my friends have too, it still happens to the best of us. So if you do get hacked, don't think you're a freaking imbecile, because it happens to industry veterans. It happens to people that work with millions of dollars every single day. That's so careful, such rigorous processes. It still happens. It's just about making sure you don't do something too stupid where you're going to hate yourself forever. Because sometimes you get hacked without knowing where it could go wrong. Where it could go wrong. You're like, I didn't even touch anything. And you still get hacked. This guy found a way. I don't know. But most of the time, it's just you doing something stupid by just being a little bit tired and clicking something. If I look through the chat logs of my little group, most people get hacked because they're like, oh, I was so tired. And sometimes people lose chunks of money, my friend. It makes you realize that this hacker out there, he just needs to find one of the right guys. Huh? Then again, man, I also don't know. What if you're a hacker and you get yourself those bucks, right? They're tainted forever now. How do you really... I mean, a lot of people don't care. They don't look. But eventually, it's all going to lead back to you. So I don't know. Stop drinking haterade. Wait. That's interesting. Pancho says, I'm no spring chicken. Let's get to cracking. Does that mean you want to go beat people up? I don't know, man. I don't know what that meant. What does that mean? Oh. Imagine what Dusty Friend would do to the hacker if he caught him. I like the name 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗏. Maybe, damn. It is what it is. It is what it is, my friend. Let's go. Anyway, news recently here has been mostly negative. Let's be real. right? Oh, there's actually some Ripple news. We'll cover that probably a little bit later. Is this Ripple? Let's see. Another court slams the SEC, this time for unlawfully rescinding a rule on proxy advice. Why didn't none of you tell me it's like only half in screen? On proxy advisory firms without adhering to the Administrative Procedure Act. The court explains that Gensler personally directed this illegal move. National Association of Manufacturers versus SEC. Wow. So even the NAM is going against the SEC. Huh? Maybe this article of earlier about Gensler causing Biden to lose the election is not as far off as I thought it was. The reason I said it's far off is because just adopting a pro-Bitcoin stance, I don't think is going to win you an election. There's a lot of people, and there's a lot of money in the crypto people, sure. But whenever I make a video, this is a little FYI. If I make a video on this channel, right, and I make it about, here's why Bitcoin just made an all-time high, and it's a short video, that short goes to a lot of people that are not fully into crypto. And you know what's funny? Those videos always have a 90 or 80% dislike ratio, right? Every comment is people saying that I'm a freaking reaver and that I'm stupid for talking about this scam crap Bitcoin. So I'm in my own bubble thinking, oh, this crypto stuff is doing good. People are loving it. But in reality, a lot of the people around us still really despise the industry, think it's all a freaking scam left and right. So we're still a pretty unique breed. And even within our unique breed of people who believe in this sector, it's kind of funny to see how divided it is yet again internally. It's kind of funny sometimes. Alex says, everyone, let's YOLO together. I mean, yeah, fair enough. But I do wonder how the market's going to get affected the moment the elections come really close. I do wonder how that's going to look. How crazy things are going to get. Because obviously an election year is always pretty volatile, but we've already seen the up and up. We've already seen the pump. Then again, if we're looking at Bitcoin cycles, we've not really seen the pump just quite yet. We should only be at the start of it, so to speak. Ortis says, Crazy's breach was from Uphold, having us send our wallet addresses for the NFTs, and then someone sends some ETH garbage to the wallets. Yep, don't open them if you have to. I have absolutely no idea what you mean. Maybe elaborate a little bit more. Is it something people should watch out for, or what's going on there? You mean you send your wallet address to Uphold so they could send you an NFT, and then some people were sending some ETH garbage to those wallets, or what do you mean exactly? Because I wanted to say, one of some of the crazier breaches were like Ledger, for example. The reason I'm saying Ledger was, theoretically speaking, one of the scariest ones is because... Do I have a Ledger somewhere? I do not. I have Ledger boxes. I always have a few Ledgers laying around for video purposes. I don't think I have got any today. I do not. I told you before, right? A long while ago, I got myself... And maybe this sounds stupid, but I got myself 20 or 25 over. I think I bought maybe 12 or so, and then I got Ledgers from Ledger and from another couple of companies. All the custom ones. I must have. You get the idea. I have a lot of custom ones because I was collecting them. But then I had a thesis as well. What if you put a little bit of crypto onto all of them, but then at least like 10 or so, right? And then have a few for just collecting purposes. Would that be smart or would that be stupid? If you just keep money on all these different devices and place them all around the world, I think it would kind of be smart. On the opposite side, I was thinking, if they're in a place that nobody can find them anyway, which they are, isn't it smart to have the same key, basically, just locked away in different spots? Why have different devices? I guess it's still like a point of contact, though, that you'd prefer to have your money split over 10 things in case one goes bust. At least you have 9 other ones, which was also my investment thesis before when it came to XRP, etc. Some people said, oh, Dusty, you should have only XRP. And I always argued against it, saying, even if it's the golden goose, if you're, let's say it's the golden goose, it lays golden eggs, and you're only investing into that, I say it's always wise to also have some ordinary eggs. Because even though the golden goose, geese, whatever, goose, might poop out some freaking golden eggs, if that nest gets trampled, or the goose gets freaking run over by a freaking 18-wheeler, which could happen, let's pray it doesn't, but it could. At least then you've got some normal eggs that will still pop out some new freaking geese, goose, whatever, and it will make you more goose, etc., etc. It will still get you wealthy. Even though the golden ones would have definitely been a lot better, and you would have preferred to buy like 1,000 golden ones instead of like one golden one, 1999 others. I mean, at the end of the day, if your one goes bust, you know what I mean? If your golden goose gets some freaking disease that only golden goose can get, at least you had some other geese. Somebody's birthday, I see, huh? Whose birthday is it? Ian says, today my birthday. Going beach to surf area waves, dude. Just beer money, haha. Enjoy, my friend. I really hope you enjoy. You know, I really appreciate you stopping by here on your freaking birthday to say you're going to hop on some waves, making us all jealous. Lucky you, my friend. Happy to know you got another year older and you're still alive, I guess. What is a birthday, right? I guess, but yeah. Congratulations on you still being alive. Pull another one for us, all right? Hope to see you next year with another birthday. I'll remember. My friend, Ian, you know what I'll do? I will put you on my agenda. And if you're here in 1 year, you will get a little birthday wish from me. I don't know which agenda I'm going to put it in. I will write it down for you on a piece of paper. I got you. I had some names on here like a while back for all the people that were loyal to the stream, so I would not forget that some people were here more often. Let me see. Ian Yeager. There you go. All right. And I should also add June 27th. All right. If I still have this piece of paper in 1 year, which I probably will because I don't throw papers away too much, I got you next year. All right, my buddy? I'll be here. If we're both alive by then, let's cheers on that one. Gladden says, my birthday's next week. Next week, bro. Let's talk next week. Alex says, me too. Now everybody's birthday, huh? No, you guys are too late. No. I don't fall for that trick, my friends. You trying to trick me, huh? No. No. Ortis says, Uphold had us chasing XRP Army NFTs, private sergeant, colonel, etc., and got our wallet addresses, and someone sent us some scam drop via Uphold. One thing I'll say, though, is if you have any ETH address, whatever address, you'll get a lot of scams every single day. If I open my Solana phone right now, you want to know, I have like 1,000 NFT. Okay, it's too much. Let's say 100 scam coins on there, maybe 150, that just say like, redeem your NFT at nyftdrop.xyz, whatever. Just don't expect to get free things and expect that everything you see is a scam. If you go in with that idea in your head, then if there's some real money in there, that could be good. But probably everything is a scam, right? Haitian, I've not seen you in a little while. Welcome back. You see, some people have come in here so often that I cannot forget, or have commented so many times, or have a really obnoxious or obvious name. Like Shirt Flavor, he's talked so much now, it's going to be hard to forget him for a little while. A Man with Brain was a really funny name that I just saw at the start. I saw also someone, I don't remember, I think it was like Ogugu, but maybe he's already gone. I think it was at the start, so it's kind of funny. I think Pancho I've seen a while as well. Oh yeah, little side note. If you guys want a freaking profitable strategy, again, maybe I'm stupid for explaining this, but if you want to really make a ton of profit, all you got to do, right, let's be real here, is just have conviction that the bull market's not over. Pick a coin you're interested in, and this is like a almost foolproof way. You go to the market, what you can do, you look for some of the worst performers, Fetch, Singular, whatever, even though these are probably performing bad because of the merger, but hey, you go look for them. You realize for yourself, are these probably going to do well over a longer piece of time? You buy them now as they're dipping hard, right? 8% down, boom, get a little purchase in. You hope it goes down a significant amount more because longer term you think it's going to do well. So boom, you buy a little bit more, and boom, you buy a little bit more. Because they're probably going to do well over a longer period of time, you're getting themselves a very much discount on the day. Yes, perhaps on the week that's not much, but 8%, and sometimes this number could be like minus 20%. That could be pretty easy to catch a dip on in a bull market, where within a few days it'll be up significantly from there. If we take a good look at Fetch, just for fun. For example, if you were buying that dip a few days ago, you could have already profited how much? Did it really go up 65%? Whoa. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, I thought it did well, but I thought it was like 34. I thought it went to 124 and then back, but even 124, I guess, would have been a pretty good. Yeah, this is more what I expected. But if we're taking bottom to tops just now, the top from yesterday, that would have been 69%. Holy shit! That is insane! Wow. So the story is still as follows, right? And call me stupid, but I know this works. It's just about you having conviction and you not being a dumbass. If you just, again, I'm not your financial advisor, but I speak facts. Anybody who wishes to counter whatever I'm saying here, man up and say your counters because you're wrong. I know that for a fact. I mean to be arrogant because I'm right, and that's why I'm saying it. But it's hard. The hard part is getting over this mentally. If you have a little bit, okay, the only thing you got to play with here is where you add what amount of margin and your longer term strategy. But let's say, for example, our initial buy was to be right there, second buy right there, third buy right there, and our fourth buy, hypothetically speaking, right there. If. Our average price could have been, it's going to be middle or lower because you want to stack up as you go lower. So let's say middle could have been, we have $3.20 and $1.30. So let's say it would have been, 2.5, would have been middle. Let's say we're going slightly south of the middle, so about $2. If we're going from 320 to 120, I'm going to say, let's see, a little bit under $2. This could have been our average price. Right now, we'd be slightly below break even, a few percent or so. But that means if we went a little bit more bottom heavy, we were able to buy a significant amount there, but a more significant amount right there. And we could have lowered our price ever so slightly to be, for example, 176. Then even if you bought the top of the top, we could have still flipped this right now for a measly 7% profit, but this with leverage could be significantly more. Even if you consider no leverage, because in this case with volatile coins that are this heavy volatile, here this is down like 70%. You can only do this if you're cross margin, isolated margin, where this is just impossible. But even that, it would have been hard if you were opening longs at like peak. I think the first and the main long I opened was like $2. I think actually I can check. I think it's like $1.60 or so, and then another one at $2 or the other way around. But I don't think I bought too much below 160 something. Oh wait, I can't check because of I'm on the internet of this. I cannot check now. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's just a matter of having conviction. And this strategy, the main way I do this is over on Bitcoin because it's just slightly easier because you know that it will recover. With things like Fetch, you'll make way more profit. Look at that freaking leg upwards. I would do, man, if I was focusing on Fetch, why did none of you guys tell me, you selfish pricks? Which one of you holds Fetch? You should have messaged me to tell me this was down so much. If I only knew. Oh, it's still down a lot though. So from that perspective, it's still not too late to apply the strategy, especially as prices are now down lower. So it's harder to even lose on this now, as we're already down the majority, right? Once you've dipped 80% or 70%, you can't dip that. I mean, you can always dip another 99%, but it's less likely to do that. What are we looking at? A trade? A hypothetical trade, most likely. Or more likely. More so. Frame says, trading on Binance stopped for the merge. Though I managed to buy the dip. All right. I'm not sure when the merge is going to happen. A few hours or a few days? Let's see. Maybe it's happening right now. Ocean and Fetch have announced a merger to form the Artificial Super Alliance. Coinbase will not execute the migration of these assets on behalf of users. Where's the other one? I thought it was Ocean, Fetch, and one more. And 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗑. Or the other one. Singularity, was Singularity Net or another one? I don't remember. I think it was 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗑, yeah. Fetch, 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗑, and Ocean. Yeah, for sure. Damn, AI coins are not doing so well today, huh? Many are down tremendously. This is not refreshed, I think. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Tremendously down today. Damn. I'm not sure, Haitian, if you're saying "see" of like being excited, like "ah, see," like Cristiano Ronaldo, or if you're trying to talk about 𝗬𝗓, the crypto. 𝗬𝗓, the crypto is nice. I think it'll do well over a bull market. It's not my main buy or something, but it's definitely okay. Dusty, learn how to trade. All right. Sure. I'll keep that in mind. We can all improve, huh? Interesting thought process. I like that. 𝗏𝗂 will do well. I have almost no 𝗏𝗂, I think. I think because I missed the main bus and I never checked out what they do. What is rehypothecated? Why is that a thing? Oh, it's the... I see. Never mind. So, but no, I never got into 𝗏𝗂, and I think it's just because I skipped it, and then I saw it do like a 20x. I kind of had spite against it, if you know what I mean. I have that so many times as well, where just because... what was the other one? Arty, or whatever the freaking name. I don't remember anymore. There's a coin. There's many, actually, that I either did not buy enough of, or you missed it. You're like, oh, I should maybe look into it, and you didn't or something. And the price goes down to 20, and then I want to freaking slam my monitor with a... But it happens to everybody. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You only need like 1, 2, 3 right coins, and everything's fine. You don't need to catch every pump either. If you're always trying to chase the pump, you're gonna lose a lot. So don't. I don't feel envy. I don't feel bad or anything. It's just jokes, guys. Nothing can... this might sound sad, but nothing about catching a nice pump or losing money does anything to my mental anymore. I think maybe 7, 8 years ago, you would have definitely had me here trembling, shaking and whatnot. But I feel nothing. I might lose 60% of all my money and I will not feel a thing. I guess sometimes... No, I guess if it's up a lot, you might feel a little bit better. But generally speaking, I don't really care so much anymore. I think once you get to a certain point, you've been here for so long, only a specific trade might hurt me mentally a little bit. It's more tough. But like my portfolio, no, not at all. Ledger has backdoors. Be careful with Ledger. I'm pretty comfortable with Ledger, actually. I think Ledger is pretty okay. I think it's one of the best ways to go about it as a simpleton, let's say. If you're not an institution and you're not holding significant sums of money, I'm not sure if there's anything that much better. Maybe a Trezor, for example, but I'm not sure if you want to go multi-sig route or custodial route. I don't know. GPU earning with IO rocks. Are you doing well with that? My IO airdrop was very significant. Medium significant. It's still 5 figures, but yes, 5 figures. Not 6 figures yet, unfortunately. Slightly south of that, but it was pretty good. But how is it earning now? Is it still solid? I don't know. I've not checked in a while. Dusty institutions are looking at Bitcoin levels of 50,000. Everyone, please be careful and let's go. Man, if you want to know the amount of people that are saying 54, 44, it's all coming in, then again, let's take a look at this. Let's take a little bit of a look. Give it a little second. Let's be real here, over the 1 month period at least, most of the liquidity is lying above us. If we're talking about here to 52, there was almost nothing. Most of it is etched towards the upside. And it's some pretty significant sums of money. I guess on a 3 month, when I checked before, it was significantly different. There was more downward layers, I think at like 40 carats, but let's quickly check it out. Because obviously we've not seen these lower prices in a shorter amount of time either. So it's harder for this to quote unquote predict it. But here, if we have to quote unquote choose between 72,000 or 50, where's the majority of the pressure? I'm going to call on and say, oh, it's definitely 72,000. It's only once you really start dialing in, looking at a 6 month time frame, you notice, okay, there is still some significant pressure. If we drop below 50, even a tiny little bit below 50, yes, some massive liquidations will occur, which is logical because we've not dropped below there since when? Since February. Yeah, last time we got to 50,000 is in February. But last time we went above this threshold is, first of all, never. But also the last time we got so close to it was all the way back in March. There's significant sums of money lining up right above us. Obviously, you can see from here what the most significant levels are. Around 50 will be very, very significant. Around, I'm going to say around 40. Even though 40 itself doesn't seem to be a significant trigger point. Mostly actually above that at 42. This might have to do with the with this trigger right here at 50,000 actually. Maybe because it's like roughly 20% below that trigger. I guess slightly below. It should not be 20%. It should be slightly less. Anyway, could be interesting to consider that the majority of the pressure still lies at 72, not actually below us. And again, on a shorter term, it's mostly 72. On a longer term, it's mostly 74. Yeah, I've seen some questions in the chat, but I think for the most part here, though, we've covered the news that I wanted to cover, which is that the governments are dumping Bitcoin, really dumping on all of us, making us scared. Pancho says, any thoughts on Ripple AMMs? Are you investing into liquidity pools? No, it's not worth it for me. I don't know why I would. Haitian says, Coinbase filed a lawsuit against the SEC. They did a few months back. Did they file a new one? So Hive. Don't know about that. Dusty, institutions are... Oh, we just read that. Glad says, I'm now staying away from meme coins. Sooner or later, they will tank big time. RWA for me now for the long term. I still love meme coins, but I'm not a degen hunter. I'm not spending 8 hours a day anymore looking at meme coins. I did that for a little while, but I personally think it's still worth it if you know what you're doing. Especially now with all those celebrity coins coming in. If you set up a nice bot to buy them all, the moment they put their address over on that address, or I guess the quote unquote pump.fun link over on their Twitter, you can still rake in a juicy amount of profit if you're not lazy. It's a lot of work, but you can do it. Is Ledger Nano X safe, Dusty? I think so. But I'm not your guarantor, right? I can't know how good the technology is, but I personally use it as well, and it's been wonderful thus far. Only thing is they leaked our addresses some time in the past, I think. I'm not sure if they leaked my address, but it's okay. Or email or name or whatever. It's all okay. It's all okay. It's not that big a deal. It's only funny to me that out of all the databases, Ledger is like one of the most valuable ones in the world, right? You think. Because they literally could, even though for me, the nice thing is, and this is something I recommend you guys to do also. If you're ever ordering things with either a crypto-related email that you've done crypto things with, or it has crypto, whatever the frick in the name, that's just two things, or it's like anything in this industry related, or you're buying crypto products, deliver it not to your home. Another one would be separate crypto and the rest of business in terms of email addresses, but I don't have to say that, I think, to people. This is just a matter of don't be stupid. There's always people watching you, especially over the next few years. My friend This is the guy that I just talked to you guys about getting hacked. I still think his account got hacked from the get-go, that he just had a bad wallet from the start, but they didn't hack it because there was not enough money in it. But now that the value got over 150,000, 120,000 or so, they decided to take it on now. Point being there, maybe they're not going to target you now, but they've written you on a list because you have nothing or they don't think you're interesting. But maybe at some point in the future, and they're watching you, they're seeing you grow, they see your success, or they start stacking up all those different pieces of information, and they're coming for you. Watch out for it, is all I'm saying. And guys, if you enjoyed this little video, make sure you go ahead and press that like button. I'm going to head out. Why? Because I got some more videos to film about my top coins. Too many of you guys are asking it, so I'll talk about which ones I think are juicy, but more importantly, the sectors. Because individual coins, ladies and gentlemen, it's not the time for it. We'll know in a few weeks or months' time, but the preparation is key. So I'll make a video for you guys with my thoughts, and I hope to see you guys again whenever I do another stream. You guys are all awesome. Some of you guys are not. But if I'm talking to you, you're not awesome, but the rest of you guys are. Just kidding. I appreciate y'all stopping by. So you guys get another one. Peace out.